Acknowledge me.
Leveled by Marvin Constant, the redshirt freshman out of Tuscaloosa.
They go by now. Let him know he don't want to die. 65 yards, and the ball was brought away from the line of scrimmage. Gerald Dixon.
Hey, are you forgot my book.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to a special.
We got company. We haven't got out of the gate, folks. Marvin already acting up. Steve, I should have listened to you when you told me don't let him back on, and you showed grace. And this is what happens. Well, folks, as you can tell by the chaos that's already ensued, it's Tuesday night, and that means the Bama Standard is live on air. But listen, before we get started, you got a few things to do in chat. I expect you to be rowdy tonight. We got a special guest, an icon, a legend, if you will, in the building. We're going to get to that in just a second. Hit that like and subscribe button. Get wild here in the chat. If you're watching the replay, we hate you couldn't be with us live on air, but get down in the comment section. Show us some love there. I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is an all-star crew. Headline by the man, the myth, the legend, the star of the show, everybody's cousin, and more importantly, the reason the ratings are through the roof, Steve Brown.
Man, let me tell you something, man. I promised this, Justin. I promised all the Bama fans. I said, listen, I was going to call my daddy on my brother's side to get my first cousin on here, and I finally got him, and I told y'all I was going to do it, and now I'm ready to go, man. See, Marvin couldn't do this, but I did it. Why? Because I'm the star of the show, and I got him on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely. Well, listen. He's a 1999 All-SEC linebacker. When Ric Flair said to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man. Ladies and gentlemen, he's still that man, Marvin Constant.
Hey.
He all right. He all right.
Steve Brown, I'm going to need you to leave Marvin alone.
Please stop it.
You ever had that cousin you're embarrassed of when you go to the family reunion, Steve?
Hey, that's him. That is him.
And somebody forgets to keep the door locked in the closet. They shove him in.
He's here.
This is it. But listen, last but not least, he's a senior analyst of the Bama Standard Network. He's also the host of Bama Vision on Monday morning. Have your coffee with him, and you're going to be informed and entertained. Ladies and gentlemen, in the building again, Stephen M. Smith.
Yo, Tuesday. Let's go.
The man, Steven, you hadn't shaved. Have you been on your male exotic dancer thing again?
It's no shade. I'm growing it out. I'm trying to look more manly. With regard to beard.
Stop it, Marvin. No.
You big old freak.
We probably need to provide some context as to what Marvin's doing for our guests. But listen, this show is about our guests, so we're going to make it about our guest. And there's only one person who can bring him on the right way, a way that the WWE would bring their superstars to the ring. Stephen M. Smith, let the folks know who we finally have in the building.
We have my brother. This isn't a guess. This is my road dog for real. When I tell you, when he was in the trenches doing his thing, killing people for Alabama football, I was in the trenches in the journalism program. I got a chance to break bread with him, to know this dude on a personal level. I still have a hard time figuring out who was more intense, him or Reuben Foster, because they both will take your block off at any given time. But we got the man from Beaumont, Texas. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of y'all because y'all all trying to lie on our name, but we still took that title. My brother, Crazy Texas Tony, national champion, NFL killer Brown. Let's get it.
Yeah. Hey, You forgot to mention cursed out the Clemson sideline. You forgot that part. The coaches and everybody. Yeah. But I take it. What's happening, brother?
What is happening, Tony?
Bless. Peace and blessings to all the viewers currently watching. Peace and blessings to all of my hosts here that have invited me to the Bama Standard. Thank you, Steve, Marvin, everyone else's name one more time.
I'm Justin.
Justin.
Hey Tony, don't worry about him. He's not
All
important.
Right.
Don't
Thank you
worry
guys.
about
I'm Steve. I'm your cousin. Remember?
Yes, Steve. Yes, Steve. Yes, thank you guys. Blessed. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you guys for having me. Man, let's get into it. You know?
Yes, sir.
Hold
Tony,
on.
be honest.
Are you still in Beaumont right now, though?
No, I'm currently in Cleveland.
Oh man,
he's a Brown, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if he was in Beaumont right now. It's off season, sir. Okay. All right.
No, we're doing OTAs right now.
OTAs, sir.
Okay.
Week 3 of phase 2.
Okay,
yes.
So can I kick it off, Justin?
Yes, but if anybody wants to email Marvin Constant, that's Marvin. I'm well informed about our guest Constant at gmail.com.
I didn't know if he was in Cleveland or in Beaumont at the time. Okay, people are transitioning back and forth. Not everybody go to OTAs, Justin.
All right, so okay, now I've seen you in action. I mean, like fierce, competitive. I mean, you're like, dude, like a madman out there. And now I'm seeing you, and you're like, you know, you're chilling. You like on this, like holistic. It's like, so how do you turn that switch on? You know, I don't understand because brother, you're looking calm, you're looking peaceful, but when I see you with those pads, with those pads on, it's a totally different person. I mean, like none of them.
So for me to get to where I currently am now, circa nearly 8 years post college collegiate career, a lot has happened in my maturation stage as a man. I've been through many pleasures and displeasures in my life that have sparked little small steps in maturation emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I have a family. I currently have a family now. I visited places outside of America that have opened my eyes to other cultures and have opened my eyes to things that I'm connected to below the surface.
Right.
And then to directly answer your question about, you know, the mindset of being a competitor, when I created a family and had a son, it forced me to look inward at myself, because a son, when you're raising a child, you notice that all they do is watch you as the father. Mm-hmm. So it caused me to look at myself, look at all the negative things about myself, the bad qualities I have in myself, and to think that, okay, he's going to pick up the good or bad qualities regardless if I think it's good or bad. Right. So it forced me to figure out, okay, which part of my communication, which part of my emotions, which part of my spirituality do I need to assess in a way that I can be the best father for my son. And in doing this, you know, one of the big things will be communication of like being able to communicate a message clearly and concise, and also being able to navigate your emotions as a man. We all know as men, we must navigate our emotions in this world in a way that promotes like a functional way of living. Right. So in the mind state of a gladiator in current society is not very functional. In going to the grocery store or being a father, you can't always be the Leonidas that's in the front of the 300 Spartans. You sometimes you have to take a step back and be the just the guy who was in the backyard, like telling his son, like, hey, it's okay for you to feel this way, but understand that you have a tool in order to, you know, this what that feeling means. You know, that's fear, that's not anger. And in order to do this, I had to separate the competitor version of myself from the father, family man, brother, cousin, uncle. I had to separate those two in order to change my self-talk and to understand that, hey, when I'm, and that's where the creation of the Apex became. That's why I'm
Wow.
now Apex, right? So that was the initial creation of Apex when when I created the family. I
Okay.
really, I never had a reason to separate the intense, passionate athlete of Tony from the field in real life. I never had a reason to. But then I created a reason to, and that's why now my energy, my aura, my presence is much more calm, much more enlightened, much more wise. Because that's how I want my son to carry himself. And then whenever he gets into competition, I can also show him that there is a duality with most things. Even in the simplest form of life, it takes yin and yang. It takes two to create one. So there has to be a feminine and a masculinity about yourself as a man. Also, it is, you just can't be uber masculine, which is a big thing that
Right.
surrounds the sport of football
Mhm.
itself, is like overly masculine. So that was a thing too. So that was how I am. That's why I am how I am now, of
Okay.
which that's still in there. The passion,
Okay.
the intensity, it's all still right there. It's just I'm able to compartmentalize it, and I'm able to be that whenever I need to be.
I like the Leonardo things you said as far as the lead 300, but I tried that. Every time I tried, I got knocked out. So I just went on. Justin, you next. Yeah.
Somebody in the chat has already brought up what I was going to bring up from Nath Bone, but listen, the legend of Tony Brown. I mean, where does it all start? There are things that we can talk about. We still could talk about to this day. Things that we wish that current players would embody. But one of the things I do have to bring up was the fact that you walk through opponents' warm-ups shirtless.
Yes,
Man, we still talk about that, brother. We crave
surely,
it sometimes.
surely, surely,
Were there
surely.
any teams or players that when you were doing that, you could look in their eyes and you knew, I got you. You're already beat. And then also part two, what was the best reaction you ever received when you did that from an opposing team?
All right, the first answer is very, very, very easy answer. Never did I. There wasn't no every one of them. With in my brain, every time that I did it, it was a success. Every time there was no one that I attempted to, like, when I'm in warm ups, when I'm essentially showing my feathers, essentially showing like, yo, these are the weapons I have that I'm about to bring to this battle that we're going to have. Like, I'm visually
Mm-hmm.
showing you the work I put in. That was one of the reasons that I did it, for an intimidation factor one, and to show like the proof of my work through my skin. It'll show forth through my skin and my energy going into pregame. And the second part of your question was what again? My apologies.
Yeah, what was the best reaction you saw from an
Okay.
opponent when you did that? Because I
Best
know you probably had
best
some trash talk or jaws drop,
all right, best reaction. Best reaction. Hmm. Give me one moment. Cause it's like two. It's like
well,
it's like it's like two. It's like
well, why
two.
you
One.
well, why you thinking? Why you
Okay.
thinking you got a reaction in my house? Me and my girl stayed into it because she'd call her girl, girl, put me on. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what you doing? And
All
I would
right.
hate
So
that. Tony naked again. No, don't do that. I didn't appreciate that, brother.
so the funniest, I'm gonna give y'all a funny one, and then I won't say any names on the funny one, and then the coolest one is like, when I think the LSU game, it was kind of like I was walking through their warm up, and
Yep.
at one point it was like I could tell like that guys saw me, like I'm very detailed, meticulous person, right? So I knew who I was wanting to walk towards and where I was walking towards, and I knew what I was doing, right? So I positioned myself to where, you know, you could see me, but you didn't know that I could see you in certain scenarios. And in those moments when I positioned myself that someone could see me and they didn't know that I could see them, when I got nearer, I like if you didn't look at me then, I'll beat you. It's over with. You lost. It's over.
Yep.
If you didn't address it whenever I come, whenever it's on you, automatic loss. You've lost. You've already lost that part of the battle. All right. And then the funny part, the funny one, is that before one of the games, I was doing my shirtless thing, and before the games, they sometimes have family and stuff on the field that's like right there in the warm ups, right? And
Yeah.
behind the line, I noticed someone's jersey, right? One of the people had somebody's jersey on, another team, right? And
Yeah.
they were just like they just seen Justin Bieber. so so that was always very funny. Like when the people they were in the jersey supporting other team and they're just infatuated with the
Absolutely.
Apex.
Hey
Mhm.
man, hey,
Hey.
I got my little league team to try that on another team, and we got the hair whooped out of us, so we never did it again. The hair whooped out of us. They stopped it in the second
Right.
quarter.
You weren't playing the right competitors because had you walked through me and my homeboys, it would have been a different ball.
The old saying, man. If my aunt had this, then she would be that.
Yeah.
If my aunt had this, then she would. If
Hey,
so
listen, I stayed in trouble for starting the fight. So
Hey, but you know what, man?
You walked over there with us, it'd have been a problem.
Hey, but if Tony did that to another team in this day and time, the way college football is, the competitive team, the competitors would probably transfer because everybody would hit the transfer
Hit the
portal.
portal right then.
Everybody hit the portal right then. I'm not playing
Yep.
him.
But bruh, the one question that I had was, everybody had their own relationship with Coach Saban. Everybody had their own one, and you and Saban were special. There were times where there were times where people felt like, I can't stand Coach Saban. He this, he that, he tough, he difficult, yada yada yada. But then as you get around him, you recognize this dude actually cares. Like, this dude actually has a side to him that he actually cares. So for you, what was that personal relationship like between you and Coach Saban, not just on the field, but off the field and just overall as a whole?
Coach Saban and his wife were almost their family to me at this point. With my maturation through college, with me navigating my emotions from not having my father how I wanted because of the what occurred with his stroke when I was 16. Um, they were like, even like now to this day, and I might like be a little long-winded with this, but even to this day, there are certain things that I hold near and dear to my heart that I didn't understand as a young man that he was trying to teach me that goes into my manhood. So it, it- our relationship when I was in Alabama, I had love for him,
Mhm.
but he was a very detailed man that sometimes the truth hurts, and when you're a young man the truth will hurt, but you appreciate the truth later. So we bumped heads a good amount, but oddly enough, that kind of made us closer because, like, if you weren't getting into things or bumping heads, then you really had no reason to go by Coach Saban's office, right? So we bumped heads on a lot of things, and I got into a good amount of things. So I happened to be one of the guys that was in Coach Saban's office pretty often. So like that allowed him to like watch me mature, to like be able to pick my brain as a young man. And then another thing that why I got a lot of love for him was that there was a hurricane in my city in Texas, and Coach Saban and the university were a large help assistant and assisted me and provided me the necessary contacts and some of the things needed in order to help my family transition after the hurricane, and to have some like to help me be able to provide them with that, right? So that is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And then three, like how I watched him always consistently, like very, very consistently stick to a method in which he does things daily. The way that he's meticulous about managing his team, the way that he does not waver or falter on his discipline of players from the best player, 5 star, to the walk on, from whenever we're in positions of triumph, to like not to let your foot off the gas. Like everything matters. Was That's the thing with Coach Saban. Like
That's what's
all
up.
the little things, like the battle of attrition. Like
Mhm.
every little thing matter. How you get up and make your bed, how you brush your teeth, what your locker looks like. All
Mm.
these things matter. Going to class, like where some universities it's not looked at the same. You want to make sure you graduated. Some guys like, man, I didn't come here. So it's like those things were things that I hold near and dear to my heart and help me become who I am today. As I look back and think back on all of those after practice conversations that Coach Saban had, he was very eloquent in the messages he was trying to get across to us as young men. And as young men, it's like throwing, some of them gonna stick, some of them not. Like
Mhm.
so,
Yep.
like our relationship I would say, is similar to like family, like a great uncle. He's
Mm.
he's like a like that like great like a great uncle of mine that is very disciplined. That's not going for nothing. That also has a soft side. Also, because I've seen him around his grandchildren. I've been to his home. I've seen him around his wife. I know Miss Terry is an awesome lady. Um, so Miss Terry has held my son. I've been back there since then. So they're like family to me. And as a coach, right now, I got to give Coach Saban his flowers. I don't think, because of the new way that college football is now, I think he might be one of the last of Mohicans of
Mm-hmm.
of what
Yeah.
of what he did and how he made an impact on college football in a like a supreme success, in a way of like supreme success. I think that he created a dynasty, right at the cusp of the end of dynasties, which
Right.
is pretty awesome, which immortalizes him as a college coach also, and just as a man. So I want to like verbalize, like he's one of the greatest coaches I've been around, one of the greatest men I've been around, and I aspire to make a change and evoke the type of emotion that he invoked in young men, and to create such a positive impact on young men and change their lives the way in which he did his whole life, and the way in which he did mine.
Wow. That's what's up. Marv?
All right, let's just get to why the people here, man. What's more fun? Sitting back at safety and you got an open receiver. Just you know they finna throw him the ball and you could time that thing perfectly and pretty much kill him, or running down on a kickoff. Which one is the highlight for you?
So kickoff hit, or you're saying defensive back hit?
Yeah, boy. Ooh, we know them two different
He,
two different
he,
environments now.
he also came on a blitz too. Now he laid people out then.
No, we don't want to hear about the blitz. That ain't important right now, because the blitz is not going to be nearly as much of a kill shot as it would if you sitting back there and you see that receiver running across your face and that ball in the air. You know you can time it perfectly, versus running down on a kickoff and you ain't got nothing in front. Them two completely different environments, baby.
I would say, it's a two-sided answer, right?
Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, let's hear it.
One side is that, you know longevity wise, right? um it's a reason that they changed a lot of the rules in NFL football, right? There's
Mm.
a reason for that. So longevity wise, I would much prefer to hit someone from a shorter distance, because force is mass times acceleration, right? So
Right.
less acceleration, less, what I mean. So like the less distance, the less acceleration I can create to cause my
Right.
force. So, but the apex in me, right?
There we go.
uh has loves to hear the stadium erupt off
Right.
of a kickoff, because a kickoff play is a one-off, right? The play on the defense, it could be like, oh, I hit him, next play they score, so it not be. But a kickoff play is more like you got one shot. So it's like everybody's watching. Like everybody might not have been watching that defensive play. It could have been this or that, or third down, or they was watch. But like on a kickoff, it's like everyone in the stadium is watching. They're like,
Right.
and it's like a load up. They playing
Mhm.
the music before every kickoff. They playing music. Do 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 do. We lined up. We facing off with the other team. It's like the kickoff side of other teams is like a real deal battlefront. Like honestly, it's very funny because That's how I look at it. Like it's like a real battlefront. Like I'm with my troops and they got their troops and we literally finna like frontline soldiers. So
Going to it.
so Apex more so definitely loves the kickoff side of taking someone's head off for sure.
Well, Tony, let me ask you this real quick. Now, in my, okay, let me ask you this. Be honest with me. So when I was playing football, I went to get a we hit on the punter, and he trucked me. What do you think about that? Yeah, I went to get that crash hit on the punter, and he trucked me. I don't know how the hell that happened, but yeah.
I can tell you how it happened. I'm gonna teach my son. You can never ever, and I don't even like to say ever. I don't like to say never, but you cannot underestimate your opponent. At the moment that you do, that's when he blur you. I can imagine that you're thinking that the punter is just something, and he took advantage of that moment that you thinking he was weak, and you can't take that moment back.
That ain't what happened, Tony.
I lied. It was a trainer. It was a trainer. It was a trainer, but it's okay.
That ain't what happened, Tony. See, this is a perfect example of not doing proper off-season preparations. When you spend 8 months in the gym doing bicep curls and push-ups, and you ain't done a squat, you ain't done a leg curl, you ain't done a leg. Listen.
I don't appreciate you putting my business in the streets, Marvin.
Came down here built like Pinocchio.
Try, Steve. Look, girl, you tried.
I tried.
We should have put that clip in here so I can see it, so I can analyze it. We should have put that clip in here so I can.
Well, there's actually a clip of him punting a football in some tighty whiteys with some Stacey Adams.
Hey man, chill, bro.
I think I'll speak for the viewers when I say I don't think we need to see that one. I don't think we need
it's
to
actually
see that one.
it's in the restricted section of the Paul W. Bryant Museum video. Knocked away, and
I didn't ask for all this.
We can't get into it, so I think that's a blessing and a curse. Yes. I don't know. Curse
surely is a blessing.
Thanks, Marvin.
But Tony, man, when I go back and I look at the 2017 season where you get that national championship, that was the season where Reuben Foster goes off to the league. You've got Sean Dion Hamilton, Rashawn Evans, two very good linebackers. But you, bro, took a huge role as that emotional leader of that defense. Like, you didn't just talk like you backed it. Like, you had Anthony Averett back there with you, Levi Wallace, who was a walk-on back there with you. But 2017, you sort of made that defense yours with Reuben off to the draft. What was so special about that season for you, knowing that, okay, these are my guys right here?
As we all know, the year prior to was the year that we lost to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
So going into this year, it is so funny. Like in the ones who leave victorious and the ones who do not leave victorious in championship games. Most people don't think about the one who does not leave victorious, right? And how that affects you. I think that part affects the true athlete even more than the victory, to be honest. So me being the ultimate competitor, right? Yeah. The way in which we lost the game on the final play, 2 seconds, like, like it immortalizes a moment that I'm having to replay over and over and over and over and over till infinity. Like there was not
that
there
wasn't
was
an
not
illegal play. That was an illegal play.
There was
illegal.
There was not a TV screen. There was not a magazine, a sports magazine at the time where I could not see this play. Any little kids that knew me, hey, you play for Bama? Oh, you was number. So like this is over and over, right? So this is like it was, and it's so beautiful the way Most High works, because so many factors had to go right for us to be able to play them again, right? Mm-hmm. So I know in my brain, I'm like, I'm going into my senior year. This is my team. This is my team. Like I know what it took last year to get us where we are, and I know that I'm a guy that's not gonna let that happen again last year. Whatever it takes, I'm not gonna allow it to happen. So in my brain, like I walked into the leadership because I wasn't gonna let that happen. Mm-hmm. So any things that was like, okay, I said, okay, for the games, I know 80% of this game is mental. How the minds that you bring to the field matters a lot more, like than the physical, because the physical is the baseline for what we're gonna do. It's a guarantee that Coach Cochran and these folks gonna put us through the physical things we need to do, right? So if I can continue to ingrain the emotion that I felt from the loss, because it was me. Like, yeah, the other guys lost the game, but it was my play, right? So that was like a tattoo on my forehead. That like it was like I'm walking around with a mirror all day, and all I can see is that the confetti and on a knee and having to sit there after that last play, and then like I can almost feel the hit on Renfro. Like I can almost feel the hit when I hit him a little bit. I can still feel it a little bit. So it's like that spirit of wanting to be victorious of that loss at the highest level, one of the highest levels. It created this thing where I'm like, no, right? So that's how I became who I wanted to be for that team. I wasn't gonna let us lose. That's why when we got to the next time, we didn't lose.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony. I don't know if you have viewers. I don't know if y'all noticed that Tony's phone started ringing while he was talking. That was me calling him and letting him know that was an illegal pick. But anyway, we ain't taking it. That was cheat. They cheated us. I'm sorry. That was illegal pick.
No, I think that was Dabo Swinney still trying to apologize. Anyway.
Yeah, he got cussed out for it the season afterwards, didn't it?
He definitely did.
And got beat down.
And we can touch a little bit on that. Tony, recently we heard about players having anxiety, but at Alabama, we don't get anxiety. We cause anxiety. And that was really the mantra of 2017 for you, watching you really come to become a superstar that we knew and we still know today. And you carried the sting of that Clemson loss all throughout the season. And you knew that every single game you played, every tackle you made, every pass you batted down was all going to come together to get that get back. Like you said, everything had to fall into place in order for you to get back to the title game. And my gosh, ain't God good? Look who you had waiting before the title game, and that was the Clemson Tigers. So talk to me about how satisfying it was to get Clemson again, and not only get Clemson, just completely break them down and embarrass them in front of national television. Mm-hmm. And the second part is, have you, Dabo, and Hunter Renfro reconciled? How's that going?
All right. If let me try to put this in. Let me try to, because I don't want to tribute. I don't want to. Let me try to put this in good words. How
Whip him.
Was.
Whip it.
Whooping.
The satisfaction is kind of like it was almost like, I promise you, it was nearly like winning like the Mega Millions Lotto, in a sense, like the Mega Millions billion. It was equivalent. It was priceless. Like, so I'm trying to, a trillion. There isn't a quantifiable number for the amount of money for me to like, for Clemson to be to still win the games. And then that year, I'm almost certain that we lost to Auburn, didn't we? At the end of the season, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
that happened, right? So we needed someone else to lose, and for us, so it was like things. So it was kind of honestly like a Mega Millions. I felt like the lotto ticket, and like
he didn't take his glasses off, Steve.
I can't believe I couldn't believe it. The reason I couldn't believe it was because I know the Most High wasn't gonna let me go out like that.
Woo!
I know he wasn't. So and I put the steps in, like I had it on my mind, and it showed me the power of faith also, like, because that was on my mind so much. Like, when we play these guys, it's gonna be so different. When we get a chance to play these guys again, we're gonna go back. It's gonna be so different. And so the satisfaction was, like I said, like Mega Millions. I have not talked to Dabo Swinney, but I had it with Hunter Renfro as we played together when I had a 6-week stint with the Las Vegas Raiders. Cool little guy. No, I'm not gonna do it like that. But like, he's I'm not gonna do it like that. he's definitely a cool guy. We reconciled, and I think the biggest thing for us reconciling is that I had the last win. I think if I think if I
Yes.
think if I think if I wouldn't have had the last win, I don't think there would have been any way that we could reconcile. To be completely frank and honest, I think if we hadn't took the last win, I don't think there was any way that we could have reconciled. To be honest, like it just would have been like no reconciliation. With Dabo, like I said, I got my get back, so all's well that ends well with Dabo. If I ever meet him again, peace and blessings to him and his family. Blessings.
I'm glad you got him back, but let me say this, man. Don't you never take your shirt off again. Well, my girl watching. Don't you never do that again. I'm just getting my get back. This is my get back. I'm not gonna tell you in your face. I can tell you it over here. Don't you never do that again. Disrespect my household.
Hey, Tony. Now, looking at Alabama's current roster, young secondary, what should the expectations be for this secondary going into the 2025 season, and what advice would you give them?
Expectations should always be baseline standard that in all of the statistics that make you a good defensive back crew, not giving up the explosive play, um, not giving up the explosive play, like third down percentage. Um, those are like some of the deals where we should be in the top. So I think those should be goals. Not giving it the explosive plays what changes games. So
Mm-hmm.
if they can lead the SEC in the nation and not giving up the explosive play and takeaways, those two categories, I would advise them to work heavily on takeaways, becoming a receiver, eyes on the ball, always working, get your eyes back, and not giving up the big play. If they can lead the SEC or the nation in those two, they'll be right wherever they want to be as far as excellence goes. Um, and if I had any advice to the young men, I would say don't lose sight of what you went to Alabama for.
Mm-hmm.
Do not lose sight of why you are on path, why you're there, why you put a helmet on, why you put the jersey on. Don't lose sight of it in the midst of, money, in the midst of women, in the midst of newfound freedom, in the midst of fame, in the midst of clout, in the midst of social media impact, in the midst of family looking at you differently, in the midst of homeboys treating you differently, in the midst of all of these things possibly changing. I'm talking to starters right now. Do not lose sight of why you're in it. You can easily lose sight of the vision when you're not looking at the vision. You can be looking this way. Oh, I got these few girls. Oh, I got this money now to pay these guys. Oh, I can do this. Oh, now I can go here. I get invited to these parties now. I get in. It's very easy when you have newfound freedom, newfound power to stray away from what even got you into the position to have that power. So I would advise these young men to create a vision board or a set of something. Understand your why. Really break down why you're doing this, whether that be for the money, whether it be for you to get to the NFL, whether that be for you know changing the trajectory of your family's legacy. Whatever that why is, I would advise you to write it down, to understand it, because there's gonna come a time when you're gonna be in pain, you're gonna be sore, you're not gonna have that same emotion that you had whenever you wanted to create the dream of where you are now. There's going to be a time when the exhilaration, the excitement that comes with putting the helmet on the first start of the season, there's going to come a time when you're 8 games in, when it's not there, when you might have a rolled ankle, you might have something, you might have a chipped tooth, you might have a little something that
Yeah.
makes you not feel the same. In that moment, the only thing that can keep you on course would be that why. So I've seen a lot of young men lose that in college because, like I say, there's a lot of newfound freedom. Even now, there's a lot more capital involved, so that's even exponentially changing the world of young men in their 18, 19s, 20, 21s ages. So now, just like stay the course, bro. Like don't get too bigger. Don't get too big for yourself is peace in saying it's peace in waiting for things. It's like, there's this, the things that come easy are not really worthwhile. And if I would advise young men that, like, it gets better, right? You have money, you have freedom. The longer you wait the longer that you hold off on the having the freedom fun, the better that freedom fun gets as you age. You learn more. You learn more how to have the right fun, how to have the
Yeah.
correct fun, how to do the things the correct way. So hopefully I didn't say a lot, because I know I like to be laser focused with young men. So the laser focus with your young men is to really dive deep into why you doing this ish, and really write that down. Have it on a piece of paper. Have it shit on have it on your phone. Have it on your glass. Have it on your car. Have it somewhere where you can see it often, and that will help you in the times of need, because it will come. Trying times will come in this game, of which they will. That's why I would tell the secondary to be great this year. Roll Tide. Y'all gonna be great too.
That is.
Wow.
That's a clip. That's a
That's
clip.
That's a whole
definitely a
book.
clip.
That's a
That's
clip.
a novel.
I don't know how, Steve. I don't know how you can follow up.
Hey,
After
man.
that. You
Hey,
got the
listen.
next question before we start getting to the audience questions. And
Oh,
Go ahead.
Of course. Well, it's a 2-part question. I'm gonna go and hit him with it before we even get to it, because I know we're gonna get it or sooner or later. So I'm gonna go and hit you with it. Dreamland or Archibald and Woodrow?
The first word got kind of cut off.
Dreamland, Archibald and Woodrow.
Archie.
You must go there a lot, because you just said Archie.
Yeah, Archie.
Yeah.
Archie.
All right, so
He's family. He's family now, Steve.
Yeah, he's family now. Yeah. So in the second part, how many teammates have you gotten into a fight with?
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
You had to narrow it down, Steve.
How many teammates have you had to narrow it down? The NFL, Alabama, high school, middle school. Yeah.
Church.
How many teammates at Alabama have you literally had to fight, or
You know what's funny? I had a conversation with an old teammate, and he reminded me of a situation I got into that I had forgot. So my number might be skewed right now, but off the top of my brain, I can remember 8. I can vividly remember 8 vividly. 8 vividly, but and some of them I can't remember vividly. That doesn't mean I lost. I just a lot of things have happened.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hey, now you know after a fight, when you say it's a tie or you don't remember, you lost.
No. Listen, but
I don't see him losing many, Steve.
Listen.
Well, I did.
I'll tell you guys this.
We walk different paths.
You can have whoever private investigators, check in and dig into the war stories. Like, I got, the stripes. I don't like to talk about the stripes, but like they definitely there though, big fella. It wasn't. I don't remember. Any L's I had was kind of turned like kind of this way until I get a different little letter.
Hey, well, Tony, I'm gonna tell you like this. I was in a lot of fights like you were, but I transitioned into pressing charges. Yeah, that's what I did. You ain't gonna just keep whipping me. You ain't just doing
Sometimes
like
Steve would start fights and then press charges.
and press charges. Yeah. If I know I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna go and press charges. I'm gonna pre-press. I'm a pre-press.
Pre-press.
Pre-press charges.
I'm a pre-press. So that's my question, man.
Yeah.
Bless.
Tony, if you don't mind, we got
And
fans.
I'll say this too to all the young viewers watching. No, my knuckles are, my fingers are not good because of this stuff. This is not the way that you handle things, young men. There's a better way than having to use your fist. It took me a long time to understand that. It took me a long time to understand that, it's harder. It's harder to not fight whenever you have the ability to fight. So, it's harder to not fight. So I would just tell young men, there's always a way to handle situations when it comes to words back and forth. But if anyone touches you,
Tony, I'm glad you said that, but our viewers really don't care, because our viewers are like 60, 70, 80, so we good. You good.
All right. Bless.
I was old as hell. Like, yeah, so don't worry about it. You could have kept that one.
Bless.
Before, and Tony, I hope you don't mind. We have some viewers, some fans that want to ask you a few questions. Like I said, we've been waiting a long time. Before I get to that, a couple of things. You talk about former teammates. One of those tried his hardest to be here tonight, and that's Bo Scarbrough. He's a part of our family, but he's a coach now at West Alabama. So they got him ripping and running on the road. He told me to tell you what's up, and he hopes that he can talk to you soon.
Oh man. Hey man. Shout out to if Bo's watching right now. Man, Bo, peace and blessings to you and your family, my brother. I got a lot of love for you, and what you know that. Love you and your mother and your brother and everyone involved with you, Bo. I love your transition. I love, the things you put out into the world right now. I love that you're putting back into these young men at the university over there, Coach Cochran. Shout out to Coach Cochran, OJ Howard, to
Right.
Damian Square, all those guys over there with Coach Cochran. Man, I got a lot of love for y'all pouring back into these kids, possibly the same stuff that was poured into us. So that's huge, man. So Bo, man, I hate that you're not here, but I'm gonna call you after this, bro, for sure. Like,
I think
because that's my dog,
I
man.
think I know.
Hey, but you
I
do
think I know
realize
where you're going.
you do realize me and Bo just got to fighting with some dudes in the club just yesterday. You do realize that.
I didn't know that, dude. I didn't know that. If you had Bo on your side, you was pretty good.
When Bo ended up fighting by himself.
Yeah, I can tell.
But
Knock
one of the funniest moments I remember when they had you on national television interviewing you. You were just dialed in. You were taking it seriously, pouring passion into the mic, and all of a sudden, Bo and Deshaun Hand take over the interview and just completely make the audience look at what they were saying, and you were looking at them like Samuel Jackson before he was about to take somebody out. The look on your face said it all, but it was so funny seeing Deshaun and Bo take over your interview.
Yes. Looking back, it was like family, man. It was so much stuff that went on in college that, like, I don't think will be remade again because it was a brotherhood. Like now, you got guys I can leave Alabama and go to Tennessee. I can leave Alabama and go to LSU like the same year with no repercussions. So how do you even develop a brotherhood when it's so much money involved and it's no loyalty. There's no demerit for leaving. It's nothing. So it's like that brotherhood. It was so much. Those moments like that, I cherish them forever because it's like that's a real brotherhood. Like jumping into my interview, you gotta really maybe that's love. That's super love.
Right. Before we get to the question and answers, I want to shout out one of our sponsors, and that's Whitwell Sports. Listen, the Alabama football season never truly ends. So what you need to do is grab your title towel to celebrate the Crimson Tide. Go to whitwellsports.com today. Enter the promo code STANDARD to get you a nice discount courtesy of your favorite network, the Bama Standard Network. That's right, folks. Grab your title towel. All right, let's get to a few of these questions, if you don't mind, Tony. Kanafi, where are your favorite places you've traveled, Tony?
Easy answer. This is very easy. Accra, Ghana. I traveled to Ghana, Africa. Changed my life. And that's my favorite place I've traveled to.
Cool.
Man, listen, man. I'm gonna need them to pave some more of those roads, and I'm gonna need some more of those stoplights to work over there. And then I'm gonna need them not to serve me rice with every damn thing I ordered when I was there.
Were you in Accra?
Man, I've been
You
in
were?
22 countries. Man, listen, I've been all over the place, man. So yeah, I was there, posted up. Cool city. I don't know if you went to like Shah Hill Reserve and a few more of those other places there. It's actually a very beautiful country, man. I enjoyed it. So
I visited the Cape Coast. I was there with my teammate.
oh, you went to the
Jeremiah.
castle? You went to Castle Elamine?
Yes, I did. I was
Oh,
there
that's
with
what's
Jeremiah,
That
Owusu Koromora, my teammate in with the Browns. He had a camp there, and that would probably be a whole nother. So to talk about that, that would be like a whole nother one of these.
But that's what's up.
Castle Elamine is definitely different, man. When they take you down there, man, it's a different experience.
Marvin, you remember that time? You remember that time you took me to Utah, Alabama?
No.
Okay, so Akron, Greensboro.
A Coach Saban
Tough as
shootout?
nails. Tell us a Coach Saban chewing out story.
Funny one. This is a very, very, very funny one.
Uh-oh.
There was a player. There was a player during practice one time. This is the second part of the two-a-day. Um, and like you sometimes when Coach Saban get to chewing you out, it's very eccentric, to say the least, right? And emotional, right? So sometimes when you're tired, you will forget that Coach Saban kind of still can hear, even though he old, like he still can hear very, very well, right? So you got some guys that would think they can say some things as they're walking off. Like, okay, if Coach Saban he's usually behind the offense, right? So he's like in the middle of the field. And if you're running off the field, when you get to the numbers, you kind of think, man, shit, man, whatever, bro. You think you can kind of say some stuff on the end of your breath, and it'd be okay. So he heard this one, you know what I mean? Like he, and the guy's walking off, man, whatever. So then he gets on the knee on the sideline, right? Coach Saban blows whistle, stops practice. He walks over to the guy, right? He gets on the knee. Now that's why your A is never gonna. That's why you never will play like on the knee, like so. The player is on the knee, like with his hands on his helmet. Then Coach Saban goes and gets on the knee right in front. So that was probably one of the funniest ones because I never saw like I just seen him yelling at people like in their face, go walk down and yell. But like that was super funny because like he got on the knee and like put his hand like started going crazy. So that was a very funny shootout story. Yeah, that was very funny.
Did he really have to get on a knee? Wasn't he already at eye level?
No, he didn't have to get on the knee. That's the funny part. He didn't have to get on the knee. He got on the knee. That was the funny part. That he got on the knee.
He got smaller.
Tough as nails. Question: did Coach Saban ever tell you to intimidate the other team?
You never told me that. No, that's all Apex. That was all Tony.
Okay.
He intimidated. He knew intimidation in his part would be our preparation. Intimidation came as rhymes too. But yeah.
Kenny Heathcock, we've seen you lay some great hits. Has anyone ever got a good one on you that you will never forget?
Two times. My first tackle football practice. When I was the littlest guy growing. That's kind of what had me like my mentality is. I was always a little dude growing up. So my first tackle football practice, I had to go. This is pre like no Oklahoma drill, right? This is pre that. This is where Oklahoma drill is where it's at, right? So I'm Oklahoma drill, right, with the fullback. He's overweight. I don't know if you guys know about Pop Warner. He overly big, right? I'm overly small.
Right.
Coach, I'm the fastest though, immediately. So, but as tackle football. So my dad, I didn't notice at the time. My dad had told the coach to put me against the big fella, right? I go against big fella, bloof, helmet. You feel me? I'm here, right? I'm here with it. I'm mad. I'm ready to slide because I'm like, man, I can't do nothing. He's too big. Like, I'm like, what? How can I win, right? I can't juke him. So then, like my dad, like he wiped my tears. He's like, if you're gonna play football, you're gonna have to hit him, right? I'm like, man, I'm looking at the line. Then I seen somebody kind of hit somebody like at their hip level. I said, I think if I go a little lower, I can blur him because he's kind of big up top. I can't win that. So we go again. Bloof, hit the knee, flip him. You know what I mean? He mad now. So I think I'm gonna get back. Second time that I've gotten hit crazy hard. We had to be in the NFL. We're playing I can't even say the team. I don't want. Oh, actually, I will. We're playing the Titans. Right, we're playing the Titans, and I'm on kickoff return. And this is probably the funniest one ever. So the first kickoff, I'm blocking a tight end. He's like 6'4", 247 or something like that, right? I'm blocking a tight end. Of which I'm looking at the special teams coach like, yo, what's up, bro? why you got me on the 3 on this kickoff return, yo? Like, let me go get a center or a safety. So, but anyways, but Apex is Apex. I'm gonna get it done. So the first one he goes down, it's a touchback, but I'm like, yo, he act like he didn't see me or something. Like what? Next one, like the same. We do the same return. He catches it, and like I front him up. I still made him a little bit, but it wasn't a hard collision. I'm like, yo, we get to the sideline next kickoff. I'm like, yo, listen. I'm about to. I tell guys on the sideline too. I tell team coach, I'm about to. I'm telling the returner, yo, listen, run behind me. I'm about to open it up for him. I'm telling him I'm about to take his head off. I'm telling you, I'm about to take his head off. I promise you, right? So so now we're kill return. We get scored on. Going KOR. I'm about to do it to him. I know I'm about to do it to him. Get my drop. Give me good long, good kick. Get my drop. He caught me with my feet square. So like. You guys play ball, so like, if someone running at you, you gotta have one foot in front of the other one slightly in order to have some leverage. So he caught me feet square. Oof! I didn't. He didn't. I'm laid out. I can't hold him. Right? This is the funny part though. He ran through me so smooth though, right? That he stepped on me. Like he ran through me. Then like he stepped on my stomach when he was like trying to go get
Dang.
and he failed. He tripped when he stepped on me and like just missed the tackle, and we still had a good return. So like I didn't lie. I definitely opened it up for him.
You opened it up, just not the way you envisioned.
Yeah,
that was one of the hardest hits that I had on me for sure.
You took one for the team.
Yes, most certainly. I had to come to the sideline and like one of the guys I'm telling guys like, watch me, right? I'm like, yo, watch this play, bro. So I come to the sideline. They're like, bro, what happened? I'm like, you got me, bro. Yeah, you got me, bro.
You did.
See, what happened was.
Yeah, see what happened. Yeah. Jeremy Matthews, which player from the 2017 receiving corps gave you the most problems?
I gotta stay in apex. I gotta stay in character. I don't have problems. I ain't getting no problems. They're all good receivers, but I ain't have no problems, man. Ain't no problems. Never a problem.
You hear that, Steve? Wow.
Man.
Steve Brown did not pay his minutes, so his stream has been cut short. Kelly Weathersby, thank you for the super chat, $9.99. What were some of the ways you used to motivate / lead young players when you came back for your final year?
Through my actions. I was the guy who was always up there. I was always training. I was always finding something small to do, whether that be jugs, running, lifting, core, mobility, drills. I led through what I did. So that's how I motivated them with like, yo, if y'all want to get back to where we got to, we gonna have to do this. If y'all want to get to this, we gotta do this. So I used what I did and like, being an athlete, you can show daily. You get an opportunity to show like every day to your teammates the work you're putting in. So they respect that also. So I was able to show them the work through the practice. They were seeing me like, hey, TB is always here and he's doing well. He's covered like he's strong as hell. Like he's getting off blocks. He's able to do this. If he's saying this, it's easy to follow somebody that's on that. So that's how I motivated and led young players through my actions.
Okay, that's what's up. Ephraim, Tony, you ever talked with a team since you've been drafted? Would you, if you were asked?
1,000%, 100,000 million%. I talked to the team in 2 times in California at the loss. I was at that game in San Fran, tragic loss. And I talked to the team in when they had the Natty in Miami. So I talked to both of those teams, and I would love to speak to the team. I met a few of the linemen. They were at a lineman O-line camp at Sports Academy in Dallas this year. I met a few of the Bama O linemen, but I would love to talk to the kids for sure.
What's up?
All right. JJRMFT, what SEC team did you hate the most?
Auburn, just because of how they handled the win. Like when we beat Auburn, we didn't do that. We didn't do that corny rush to field BS. Like that's classless, corny. Like y'all not used to winning. That's ultra corny to me. Like we won. We didn't rush the field when we won because like you know what I mean. That's the standard for what we do. Y'all rush the field when y'all win because y'all not used to winning. So like
That's right.
I didn't like that. That was classless. That was we didn't do that. That's not nothing that we did. So the fact that y'all did that was just like that's like bottom of the barrel to me. That was BS. I didn't like that because like now that I'm a man, it's like that's like that's super unprofessional. Like the safety of the players is like that's terrible in a university to allow it, and it's terrible on a team to allow it to happen either. So that piece of it I don't like at all.
I get that. Totally get that. We preach that message every week.
Yeah, it seems like every team that happens to win against Bama, they rush the field. It's crazy.
It's terrible.
And chances are they probably would never have won a natty. Just gonna throw that out there. Don Parker, $10 super chat. Peace and blessings, Tony Brown. I'm happy to see you here. What is one lesson from Coach Saban that you apply to your life today?
The best year of your life will be the year you take responsibility for everything that happens to you.
Powerful. Love that. All right. So I say the best question for last. So think about this for a minute.
Justin, I'm sorry. Can you have him repeat that one more time? Repeat that one more time, so I could tell it to my kids and tell them I made it up.
The best year of your life will be the year you take responsibility for everything that happens to you.
Thanks a lot. I'm gonna say that with a tear in my eye. They're gonna get it.
The last question goes to Latoya Billingsley. We asked this of all of our guests, so we're gonna let her ask this. Tony, what is your favorite moment on or off the field, Alabama?
Man,
I know it's hard to compartmentalize, but
it would have to be. It would have to be that interview moment when I was after the Clemson game, because that was me. That moment was me talking to my past self. Like that was the actual time. That was when I finally like scratched the number and saw like, oh my gosh, I got the winning ticket. Like that was the moment when like all the energy of all the time put into a goal like came to, and then there was a camera there to like capture it. So it's like there's a lot of miracles that happen in people's lives, right? And like it just so happened that one miracle was like encapsulated in a time machine digitally, that I get to show that my son gets to see, that whoever knows my family will get to see, and they'll have a reference to like a story of triumph with their family members. So that was probably one of the highest moments of Alabama with me, that moment there.
I know that I said that was the last question, but I see one here that I really want to hear the answer from you, and I'll add to it. FF Rom, where were you when you heard Coach Saban retired, and how that impact you?
I think I was in Mexico. I think that I was in Mexico. My mom told me, yeah. My mom, no, what I'm saying is I don't know why I remember like I can hear like reggaeton music, but that's neither here nor there. But I know my mom called me. My mom was like, "Hey Tony, you know Coach Saban retired?" I said, "Man," I said, "Really?" Because in my brain, I'm like, I knew at some point that because the climate and the atmosphere of college had changed so drastically in such a short amount of time. I knew that it would be a moment when like that coach he wouldn't be able to manage the difference in the players, not to say like it gets hard to manage kids when there's no repercussion for actions, when you don't have tools to discipline. If you don't have tools to discipline kids to create something then you can't create the same atmosphere that he created to make the dynasty. So I know at the point in which he saw that it was a slippery slope of like, all right, getting these guys to buy into something because it's very empowering to believe in something bigger than yourself. That's one of the biggest empowering. That's why people have faith. People have different religions. People can do amazing things with faith. It's
Mm-hmm.
empowering to believe in something greater than yourself. So at the moment that he saw that kids didn't have to buy in order to be successful, that they didn't have to buy in, or that there wasn't no real repercussions for quitting, for
Mm.
walking away, for leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was like, I knew at that point when outside looking in, when I saw how the climate of the recruit visits were, how kids became more Hollywood, how it was more about what are you going to give me? I'm gonna play it now, like, and that was something that I know that discussed Coach Saban. It kind of disgusted me a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew it would get to a point when like he had just had enough, and he probably won't say that, but in
That's
my
what it
brain,
was.
this is me speaking. I think that the kids, the young men, changed so drastically that they were so different that I think it became hard for him to manage because he did things a particular way that made him successful, and
Mm.
it's
Yep.
like whenever that piece of the ingredients change and you try to twerk it a little bit and a little bit, but you can't twerk the system that then got you to where you at. You can do software updates on the iPhone, but it's still an iPhone. Like
Yeah.
kids started becoming right. It was flip phones, and now they got the fold, and now it's like it was all different type of phones. Now it wasn't just the iPhone no
I
more. So
still got
now
mine.
he's trying to. It's different software, different programs. So I think it just got too. It was just too many programs too many different programs for him to deal with because he's just so used to Apple. So
So
I think
Tony, let me ask you this.
yes,
And I can tell that, from what I've seen on TV and on the field, you've matured tremendously. And I can tell that you are a man that goes into deep thought. So let me ask you a question it's not a question, it's just a statement. Do you realize that the way college football is now, do you realize that your whole defensive unit would be kicked out the game in today's game? Do you realize that? Your
yes,
whole defensive unit would be kicked out. Y'all will be disqualified. Y'all be out of the game for the way y'all played now. Do you realize that?
yes,
Okay, I just
yes.
wanted you.
I do.
It is straight Charmin now. I mean, it's yeah. It's
I do
bad when you
realize
get
that.
it's bad when you getting penalized on the PlayStation. I'm like, this is a game. So yeah.
I'll say I'll say one thing about that. You know, I don't ever, I don't like to be like the old head, like, oh, back in my day. But it's like,
But you gotta be. You
it's
You
like,
gotta
gotta
no,
be.
be.
no,
You gotta be.
but listen, like the game has to change, right? It has to evolve because everything evolves. It's like you must evolve in order to attain new levels of to outreach for the game for the outreach different things for people to be included. The game had to change,
Mm,
and you know safety is a big thing now with football, right? And not only that, but I think the biggest thing for the game changing is that the game turning into more of a passing league. Now, with the game being more of a passing league, you have players like the quarterback and receivers whose value is very high for the
mm-hmm.
team scoring, right? Fans like to see scores. The kids are scoring more because the game has changed as far as passing wise, right? Evolution of offense, evolution of special teams. They're changing kickoff
Yeah.
KOR so that there can be more opportunities to score, right? Which makes the game more
Man,
exciting. Which makes the game more
that's
exciting,
hey
and it
Tony,
makes it.
but
Hey,
Tony, listen.
hey, I'm not
Everybody,
mad.
but people want to see people get the boom lord on them too. As a matter
No,
of fact, I
bless,
said your defense.
bless.
If they were, if Marvin's defense played today, Marvin, all of y'all be kicked out the game. All of y'all, because y'all were literally hitting the hell out of people. People want to see people get hit as well. They don't want to just. I mean, because it's like. Do you realize now nobody's really watching the NBA no more? You know why? Because
Facts.
all they do is pass and shoot threes. Nobody's going to the. No, it's. I mean, back in my day, I gotta say it. People were getting chopped up, getting beat up. I mean, I never forget. I went to a game, the NBA game. This is off the subject, and we snuck down under the goal, and we could see. We literally saw Michael Jordan go to the hole, and all you heard was this. I mean, getting popped and all that. Nobody said nothing. I remember somebody got shot. Nobody said nothing. But now you can't even do. That's But
And I'll say this, Steve, you guys can mark this down. I think that yes, they scale back. I think they'll get to a point maybe in the next 10 to 12 years where the true football fans will definitely come back out. I think that will, and then it'll evolve again, and then the
not
guys
me.
will say,
I'm going to jail. Wait a minute.
no. I think the game will evolve again to bring back some of those hits once the true football fans are like, yo, this game has changed too much. Like, we got to bring it back. I think that they will scale back some of the rules whenever it's changed too much, whenever it gets a little too soft, because the essence of football is a gladiator sport where people get hit and we're mashing heads. That's what makes it so exciting. So I think if it ever scales back too much, the true football fan is the true football viewership will go down. So and then they'll have to change it again.
I appreciate you saying that.
All right, we've reached the end of the show. We've had a lot of fun. Before we close up, I want to announce a few things. One is next week's guest. Listen, we're bringing all the heavy hitters, and we started out with Tony Brown. Well, next week, it continues with that theme. We have one of the baddest dudes to ever play on the Alabama defensive line. You can say he's a monster. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, Alabama legend Jesse Williams will be the building.
I fought him before.
And I'll remind everyone, we might be done here, but just about 30 minutes from now, you're going to have the Herb and Raj podcast coming on this network, and they're going to be previewing Ohio State, what they expect from them. Can they win back-to-back national titles? Who's going to win that quarterback competition that's going on up there? But, folks, let's go around the room one last time, and I'll save it, Tony, for last. Marvin Constant, to start us out. Then we'll go to Steve Brown. Then we'll go to Stephen M. And then we'll let Tony go last.
You can find me on Instagram, Constant45, Twitter, Constant451. I ain't hard to find. I'm easy to find, baby.
Steve?
Not really.
There's always haters everywhere you go. So, again.
I'll be at the Uptown Comedy Corner here in Atlanta. The 23rd through the 25th of this month. Tickets are already doing very well, so you can go to uptowncomedy.net if you're in the Atlanta area. You can follow me on Instagram, Comic Steve Brown, and on Facebook, Comedian Steve Brown, and all that good stuff. But, of course, you can find me on the Bama Standard. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stephen M., talk to the audience. How can they find you?
Twitter X, Coaching M Smith, right there. You can find me all over this network, the Bama Standard, whether it's Monday, Bama Vision at 9 a.m., whether it's Sunday night Talking Bama with JB, JT, and Herb, whether it's right here on Tuesdays with my guys here. You can also now find articles from me on the Bama on BamaStandard.com.
Yeah.
Articles now too.
Yeah.
So basically, I have nothing else to do with my time.
My
So
God.
I will be here on the Bama Standard.
Wrong.
Whoa, you forgot the last one, Steven. You remember you got your OnlyFans now?
No, that's
No, that's part 2 of Bama Vision. I'm not here to talk about that part.
Yes, you can find them on OnlyFans at Optical Thunder.
Wrong.
Can you see me? Okay, go ahead.
Tony, my gosh, my brother, it has been an absolute honor to have you on tonight, and we would love to have you on as often as possible. You're a fan favorite. You're an absolute legend, and we can't thank you enough for spending time with us. I know we went a little bit over, but I feel like it was well worth it. Before you head out, tell the folks what you got coming up and then how they can find you on social media.
Bless. Thank you guys again for having me. Thank all the Bama fans that are watching now. Hopefully you're in good health. Your family is in good health. Shout out to all the players at Alabama, all the coaches there, new coaches, all my past coaches. You can find me on Instagram at tmb.ap3x. I'll be linking my Twitter, everything, my Twitter, my X, and all the other social medias to my Instagram here shortly. Currently in my philanthropy, I will be okay, first let's start with football. Right, I'm Cleveland Brown right now. You can find me on the Cleveland Browns field. Number
Yes.
change. I'm number 11. I'll be number 11 this year for
Okay.
Cleveland Browns. We're gonna have a
Okay.
great season this year. Two, before the season, I'll be finishing filming my documentary of Ghana that will be dropping
Oh wow.
this year during the bye week. It'll be called Trapped in Ghana. Before that, I'll be putting out some music. Um, in about 4 weeks. So you can look out for Apex music. My first genre will be R&B. So shout out to the ladies. So there you go. Three things. I'll be having music, film, and football in that order. So you guys will be excited. I'll come on here another time. I'll set up another interview to talk to the fans more about my film, about my music whenever it's unveiled, and about this season, going to the season, how it's going to be. So that's what's up with Apex. I would appreciate you guys call me Apex, all the fans, everyone. I'm now
Yes,
known as Apex, AP3X. That's me. I got a lot of love for all Alabama fans, for everything about Alabama. That's a large piece of myself and my soul. So I love to be a part of anything that supports positivity in the form of uplifting Alabama, the university itself. I can't say it enough. Thank you guys for allowing me to verbalize my thoughts on the platform in a way that I could spread positivity through my words and connect with people that wanted to connect with me in a great way. So it's been a pleasure, you guys. Thank you.
Tony, I want to do this too, man. Before I get off, man. You remember I was saying this thing about you taking your shirt off. You took a lot of fans of mine that that were Bama fans, and now I'm taking them back. So
Oh, nigga.
You said you want to do.
I get back.
You need to get back. Hold on, let me
Oh hell.
No, cut the camera. Cut the damn camera.
No,
Just
let me take the
cut the damn camera.
Let me take the get back back. Hold on. Is this?
Cut the camera.
Let me take the get back because it's still all there now.
Cut the camera.
It's still all there. It's even more.
No.
All right, Marvin's turn. Only on the Bama Standard can you find this quality content. Talk.
Oh,
Fellas.
Let's shout out to Godspeed, man. Shout out to Godspeed, the brand, great clothing brand.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, brother. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone. Really, Kelly, keep the camera. I'm telling your husband, Kelly.
Network ain't coming back.
Great show, guys. Thank you again. Thank you to everyone in the audience. On your way out, hit that like and subscribe button if you hadn't already. Get in the comment section down below. Show some love there. That'll do it for all of us here at the Bama Standard. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Forget you, Tony. Forget you.
Oh, man. Yeah.